Hello friends, and let's catch up. This video is just going to be a bit of a catch up on what has been happening in life lately. I want to share with you the things that I have been focusing on, prioritizing, leaning into, and also letting go of. And yes, I do have updates to share, so take this as a bit of a life update video. I don't think I've done one of these for probably 8 months. That was my last Beanbag Diaries video, and I can say there's a lot has happened since. So I do want this video to be valuable for you. I want you to take away at least something from it. So while this isn't like a sit down educational video like most of mine are, I really do hope you resonate with something, or this sparks something in you, or yeah, you learn something that you can then go and apply to your own life. So if that is the case, comment below at the end of this video what that was for you, or share an update from your own life. And yeah, I would love to catch up with you in the comments. But for now, I'm just going to be sharing with you the top things that are on my mind at the moment. I think you will find some of them very interesting. I think they definitely relate to the general topics that I share on here around career, product management, productivity, side projects, and things like that. I think the biggest thing that is on my mind, and probably the most significant update I have to share with you, the elephant in the room that I want to talk about, is a career update, a work-related update. So for those of you who know or don't know, I have been working in a startup for the last year and a half almost, and it has been the wildest ride. I mean, a startup is wild, right? It is literally like being on a roller coaster, and I can tell you that that is something I definitely got from the last 12 and a bit months. But I'm currently in a chapter of my career where it's a very transitional chapter. I will explain to you why. So the reasons I went into a startup in the first place was I love the idea of building something from scratch. That is an itch that I've always had, and that's why I've had a couple of my own startups previously. And I spent the last 5.5 to 6 years before this role in a big tech company. And I love big tech companies too. I've spoken about how much you can learn from being in a company or working on a product that is scaling at, an immense scale, probably globally. It's a totally different experience to, again, working on something that doesn't yet exist. But anyway, after the big tech company thing, I thought I would go back to startup and try that out again. So I joined a startup as a head of product. And by the way, my next video coming out will be what I actually do as a head of product, if you're interested in that. But yeah, joined the startup and knew it was going to be an absolutely wild ride, which it was. We have delivered on a lot of the things that we said we would. But as an early stage startup, financially things are always tough. And given the current macroeconomic conditions, fundraising firstly, but secondly, fundraising for fintechs, and thirdly, fundraising in Australia, so triple whammy, is extremely difficult. And so that has just made the future of, not the business is doing really well, that has just made a few things uncertain. And after riding out this wave for just over a year, I'm just at a point where I need some stability, and I just want to move into something that I know 1,000% is solid, is proven, and I can invest my career into this next thing for like the next 5 years. So I came to this decision at the start of this year, and I let, the relevant people within the company know, and I've given a pretty long notice period or transition period of like really 2 to 3 months, which I'm currently in. And I have dropped down to working part-time, and that has been good for some other reasons as well. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I have loved working in a small team, in a team that is literally building stuff from scratch, solving problems that haven't been solved before, working in such a complicated and regulated space. But, at the same time, I am tired of not having like a product community, of not having proper resources and proper funding at the end of the day. And yeah, I take my hat off to anyone, especially founders, who pushed through how difficult the startup journey is. Like, I have so much respect for you, but just based on where I am in life, I just at this point where I'm like, no, I need to move on to something else. So really happy with everything I've learned in the last 12 months. And maybe I'll make a video about what it is that I have learned, because it's a lot and I'm probably going to have to reflect on it for a while first. But yeah, that really brings me to the fact that I am looking for my next product role. And I don't think I have ever been so intentional about what I do next. I'm usually pretty intentional. Like, I'm not the kind of person who just browses for roles and jobs and just applies for what's out there. I usually know exactly what I want to do. And I know what I want to do this time as well. But I'm just being extra selective because, yeah, I'm craving the feeling of like wanting to really sink into something for at least 5 years. You know, who knows what will happen, but I'm going into my next role and company knowing that I want to be there for a while. I really miss having relationships that you've built over years and years and years, and working alongside people like that, actually seeing the evolution of your teams and your product groups, evolution of the company and riding that wave, and just everything that comes with a bigger company. Now, I'm not necessarily targeting like massive tech giants, but you know, I'm happy with something that has product market fit, is financially stable, has growth opportunities, both in terms of like per career, but also the product. And yeah, I'm also very keen on making sure it is a product that and company and brand that I like, that I hopefully have used myself, and yeah, that the company is a good place to work for. So with all of that, the next thing that I want to share is I've been applying for and interviewing for jobs back to back for the first time in my life. Apart from my first job at university, where I think I applied for like 12 to 18 months straight before I got my first graduate role. Apart from that, every other job that I've had has been either just one cold application and it's worked out, or I have had someone reach out to me, like a recruiter or someone has reached out. And I've never been in this position where I am the one just applying and going through interviews on interviews. And I really, I really feel for the people who have struggled with this in the past. I know I see so many updates on LinkedIn all the time where people talk about their struggle with applications and rejections and interviews. And as someone who could never really completely empathize with that, now I can understand. And, I still feel like I'm coming from a very privileged position. I have still had a lot of success with my interviews, even though I haven't still found that final thing. It's something that's just so out of your control. Every company has such a different and honestly extensive and lengthy process. That's something I didn't realize tech companies were still doing. Some of the places that I'm interviewing at have 6 rounds, 7 rounds, and these span like 6 to 8 weeks sometimes. And, again, I'm in a privileged position where I can wait that time out, but I cannot imagine for someone who has been laid off or has a family and has other commitments, that's like a ticking time bomb. So if you are currently going through that, I send you my absolute best wishes. Keep powering through and just take every rejection as that something better is out there for you. So that's something that's been really heavily on my mind when it comes to finding my next thing, is how my personal brand, how my YouTube and my content and my coaching kind of fits into it. I've been really lucky and fortunate that all the companies and places I've worked for, the people I've worked for, have been very supportive and accepting of my side projects. And this is something that I'm usually pretty open about in the interviews that I do, because I don't want this to be a surprise. I want this to be something that they see as an asset, that they see as a strength. But the reality is that sometimes even the bigger the company, they do not see your content creation and your side hustle as an asset, as a strength. And I think that's really unfortunate in especially 2025. So yeah, that's been something I have been navigating, and I think I've been kind of surprised with, like, I would say 90% of places have been okay with it, especially because this is something I do in my spare time. Like, it's Sunday afternoon and I'm filming this video. So this is something I have been navigating in terms of how do I make sure I find a place that, you know, ticks the boxes for me in terms of my career aspirations and the role that I want, but is also accepting and understanding and okay with what I'm trying to build on the side. I find it really interesting when people post on LinkedIn and then people post on YouTube. Because if you post on LinkedIn, you won't be seen in the same way as if you post on YouTube. But in fact, they're both just social platforms and they're just different types of content. So I find it really interesting, and I'm making some assumptions here, but I've gotten the feeling that some companies are okay with you posting on LinkedIn, but not on YouTube. And that just doesn't make sense to me. And I think every company should be 10,000% supportive of people building their personal brand on whatever platform they want to. So yeah, that's something I'm navigating, and something that I don't want to give up. You know, for me, I would much rather go for a role that maybe didn't tick 100% of my boxes, but was still accepting of my side projects, than give up what I've created. Because let's be honest, and I've talked about this, like, the future of careers and the future of the world is personal brand. And those people who do not have a personal brand are going to be at a disadvantage. So if you've built something like that for yourself, or if you're thinking about it, again, everyone's in a different position, but I would say don't give it up, because it's a huge asset and you will find the right place that will accept that and will let you continue building it. Oh, the other thing that has been on my mind when it comes to my career transition phase and looking for the next thing is I have had to get so comfortable with self-promotion, and I'm so happy about it. Like, I'm so glad. Like, I almost think I'm going through this right now to get better at talking about myself, get better at talking myself up, because it's not something I'm inherently good at. I know they say generally females aren't as good at it, and I'm really not. I hate talking about my accomplishments and my achievements, but yeah, it's something that I have had to just drill into myself, and for lack of a better word, like, I've just had to get really good at boasting about myself. And I tell you what, it feels good. It's definitely a skill, and I think it's a skill that everyone should practice. And it's something that I'm very intentionally focusing on and making sure I constantly have that mindset of talking myself up. And it's not even talking myself up. It's like, it's talking about the things that I've done, but it's not being shy about it. It's being confident about it and clear about it, and making it very, very clear that some place is missing out on you because you've done all these things and you've got all these skills and these experiences. But to that point, there is a book that I'm currently reading. It's okay so far. I'm hoping it'll get better. The book is called Fuck Being Humble. And when I saw this, I thought, wow, this book is written for me, at least the title. It's all about why self-promotion isn't a dirty word, and I could not agree more. I've realized, especially just in recent weeks, that if you don't self-promote, if you don't talk up your achievements, if you don't make it clear what you are capable of doing and what you have done, how is anyone ever to know? If you are already talking yourself, not down, but you're talking about yourself in a mediocre way, why would someone want to hire you? Why would someone want to work with you and partner with you? So this has been, I've really enjoyed this journey that I've gone on. If you remember, probably a couple of years ago in one of my old beanbag life update videos, I talked about a period of time where I struggled immensely with my confidence, especially professionally. And that was just a weird dip that I was going through in my career, because I've never had that before. But I feel like I needed to go through that to realize how important it is. And sometimes we need to experience the dip and the lull to really understand and be grateful for the opposite of that. And yeah, in basically for me, just going through all of the interviews I've been going through and constantly having to talk about myself, and I've gotten really good at, like, I've really refined my introduction and my experience and my skills and everything. I feel like in a way it's been like a blessing in disguise, because firstly, it makes me feel amazing, and it should make you feel amazing. It's made me really reflect on, okay, what have I done? What has it helped me to, what skills it helped me to acquire? Why did I do that thing and not someone else? Okay, why am I actually better for this role than anyone else? And by the way, when something doesn't work out, like if you are rejected from something, firstly, yes, that's redirection. But secondly, I now take that as it's your loss. Like, firstly, obviously there wasn't an alignment here, but it's your loss. Like, I am so incredibly capable of doing X, Y, Z. And for me, I personally feel like I'm capable of doing anything that is put in front of me. And that is how I pitch myself. But yeah, this is just something that a skill that I'm currently working on and I'm currently acquiring and I'm strengthening. So, note to you is promotion, or self-promotion, is not a dirty word. Make sure you talk up your achievements. Make sure you talk about yourself confidently. And yeah, really share what it is that you are capable of, okay? The next thing that has been on my mind is more related to my side projects. I will update you guys, by the way, on wherever it is that I land next and whatever it is that I end up doing. But switching gears a bit to side projects, I feel like I am currently experiencing a dip in my side projects, but specifically my YouTube channel. And if you're familiar with the book, The Dip, I haven't read it. I've just read a summary of it, but basically a dip is a temporary setback that can be overcome with persistence. The dip is that frustrating, tough period after the initial excitement and before the breakthrough. It's a moment where things get hard, progress slows, motivation dips, and results stall. Most people quit here, but the dip is where value is created, because pushing through is what separates the best from the average. So, ever since I started my YouTube channel, it has pretty much grown fairly organically. And the growth has always been on an upwards trend. Even if it's really slow, it's always been on an upward trend. And that's in terms of views, subscribers, what else? Yeah, like the basic metrics, all those metrics, revenue, or ad revenue has been like this for the most part. Currently, and probably for the last few months, I have been posting more than I've ever posted consistently before. My current goal is to post one video a week. And I've been doing that for the majority of 2025. So in some ways, I've been posting more than ever, but I've also not been experiencing that growth. And I just find that really interesting, because I'm posting more than ever, yet no longer is my growth, like, it's not down, but it's definitely stagnating. But I've also been experimenting with the type of videos that I post. So if you're a long-time subscriber, you might have noticed I used to make purely like product management and career content. And recently I've been posting lots of different, like all kind of related around productivity and career and things like that, but not just strictly about product management, because I want to post about the things that I enjoy watching and the things that I'm interested in too, not just this really narrow niche of product. But I think that's partly why the growth is declining as well. So, I'm taking this as a period of experimentation. I do want to find what other topics I could expand into that kind of stem off product and career. But that has resulted in just this dip in my YouTube performance. And it has been it hasn't been unmotivating, because I know why it's happening, but it has felt like a bit of a setback, until I realized actually just a few days ago that I'm experiencing the dip. The dip being what I just described. Like, I'm experiencing the moment before I potentially have a breakthrough. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is, one, it's on my mind, but for you, whatever your YouTube is, right? Like, whatever it is that you're currently doing that maybe has been going really well, and right now you're in this period of a lull, and you're stalled, you're stagnant, like you feel like nothing's happening. Something could still be happening. You just can't necessarily see it because it is that slow. But this is not the time to quit. There's definitely times to quit. You should know if it's your time to quit or not. And I think the book, The Dip, helps you identify when actually you should quit in that stagnation period. But most of the time, you should ride out that dip. And actually, not most of the time, But you should know. If you've seen the growth and you've seen you moving towards the direction that you want to head in, and you're just now in this lull, think about why that could be. So like I explained my reasons why, they were very logical reasons, and push through it. Because the book is so correct in when you think about it, it's like anything that is hard, most people will stop. And even if you're not getting the results that you want right now, sometimes it's just about the consistent actions that you will keep on taking that are going to set you apart. So for example, this is how I think about it for me. Even though I'm experimenting with different video topics and I know a lot of them aren't resonating with my audience, I'm learning a lot through that itself, but I'm posting a video every single week. So there's consistency, and there is a lot to be said about consistency. When someone is looking at whether they subscribe to you, they want to know that you are active. They want to know how often they can expect something from you. So the way I'm thinking about it is I'm building this library of videos for myself at the moment. And whenever my breakthrough is, with whatever video topic or whatever video, whenever, the library of videos I'm building now is for that moment. Because when I hit that breakthrough and I have a video that does incredibly well or have an influx of subscribers, they're going to see how consistently I posted over months and months and months, and they're going to be more likely to stay subscribed to me, or more likely to want to subscribe and become hopefully a loyal subscriber. So there are some different ways in which you can think about this kind of stuff, and that's how I'm thinking about it. And I'm actually like I'm excited that I'm in the dip, because I think that is a really good indicator that you're doing the right thing. Well, either you're doing the right thing or it's a sign that you potentially need to change something, but you've got that really strong signal to tell you you need to change it. So yeah, I am taking this as a win, but it is something I'm currently going through. Something that is currently on my mind. And yeah, it's just about finding that right topic. And also it's at a time where I'm investing in an editor and I'm investing in a lot of my time and effort to keep up this consistency. And when you don't see the results you expect based on your input, it can be a little bit tough. But that's something I wanted to just share with you, because I think experiencing a dip is freaking awesome. So you're doing something right. And the last thing I want to talk about today that is currently on my mind, and it's related to the whole video YouTube thing, is the idea of accountability. So I wouldn't be sitting here right now on a Sunday afternoon filming this video if I had not created accountability for myself. And accountability, I've realized in recent weeks, has been the thing that has separated me from achieving what I have in the last year and not achieving it. Yes, it's also about how you set your goals and whether you're clear and intentional about them, and that you've written them down and they're actually measurable and all that stuff. Yes, it's all about the system you've created for yourself to achieve your goal. But for me, I've realized accountability has been the one hack that I have implemented that I haven't implemented before, that has really, really changed the game for me. So let me give you two examples. One, I've tried to start a YouTube channel probably like for the last 9 years. I've had 5 different YouTube channels. Never did I stick to any of them. And number 2, running a marathon. I've tried to run a marathon probably 3-ish times in my life over the last 5-6 years. Never did I run a marathon until last year. And there are 2 things there. Those 2 things had one thing in common, and that was having an accountability buddy or some other kind of accountability system. And I realized I can set up the best path, the best system, the best Notion planning board, the best everything for myself. But if I'm the only one that's holding me accountable, which, you know, you absolutely should be the one to hold yourself accountable, but whatever works. But I realized that my pattern was, if I was just holding myself accountable, I was letting myself slip. So yes, it's definitely about building up that discipline to just follow your plan and not go back on your own word. But having that extra accountability doesn't hurt, and it's so, so helpful. So my takeaway for you here is, if there's something you've been trying to do that you just haven't gathered the momentum with, that you keep struggling with, I don't care if it's your mom, your partner, your friend, your coworker, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's ChatGPT, I'm sure ChatGPT can help you too, but get an accountability buddy, especially if it's someone that is also doing that thing or is really strongly related to the thing that you are doing, that's going to be a game changer for you. I almost guarantee it. And with accountability comes small wins, consistency, which leads to momentum. And those small wins compound. And that's ultimately where you win and you achieve and you get to the thing that you are trying to get to. That is a lot of what is on my mind at the moment. Navigating career updates and career transitions, just not sure where things are going to land, but really trying to embrace this period of uncertainty. And by the way, I'll also add something on my mind is when you are in a period of uncertainty, embracing that and knowing, you know, it's a period of uncertainty, you know, it's going to end. Yes, you don't know when it's going to end, but how exciting is it to not know the answer? Like, that's what I'm so excited about when it comes to my job search at the moment. Is I know I'm going to end up somewhere amazing, but I don't know where, and it still excites me to think about, oh, it could be this place or that place or a place like this or with people like that. Who knows who I'm going to meet? Who knows the friendships and the connections that I might make? Who knows about the cool stuff that I might work on that might then lead me to something that I cannot even foresee right now. I really enjoy thinking about the dots connecting forward and just this period of, yes, uncertainty, but excitement at the same time, because you know it's going to be good. You don't know how good. And how exciting is it that you're still in this period of like hope and surprise, because you don't know what it's going to be. So there's another like mindset trick for you. And I guess I have been working on my mindset with a lot of the things happening with the YouTube dip, with trying to be consistent and momentum. It's all about your mindset with the uncertainty of being in a startup that's super turbulent and you don't know how things are going to work out, yet also trying to find the next thing. And, you know, currently in the economic situation, like that has proven to be more turbulent than it historically would be. Navigating long interview processes, which you don't know when they're going to end and when you're going to have the outcome. Trying to juggle multiple processes at once, like it makes for a really interesting time. And I do think our mind plays a lot of games on us when we are going through periods of uncertainty, because yeah, realistically, there's only so many things that you have control of, and your mindset is one of them. So that's another big takeaway for you. Remember what's in your control, focus on your mindset. Don't worry about what's not in your control, and just put your best foot forward. So with all that being said, that's my life update for you. I don't know what this video is going to end up being. It was super unplanned. It was very much a raw, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth sort of video. But I wanted to do this for, I guess especially those of you who have been following me for a long time. You followed me since I was in my old big tech job, then you saw me transition to the startup. You've seen me try lots of things on my YouTube channel, and there's lots of exciting new chapters to come that I will definitely be documenting on this channel and sharing my learnings with you. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, I really do appreciate it. My hopefully next video is going to be a deep dive into my head of product role, and that's going to be super valuable. It's going to be very different to this. So subscribe if you are interested in that. And again, if you got this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.